If you just, got
I mean,
200K on your lap right now, what would you do with it?
I would probably invest a little bit of it, like 20% of it, right? The rest I would probably use on cocaine and strippers.
You're watching The Strangers Podcast, hosted by Chester Bettingfield.
What is your name and how long have you been in the city?
Ladies first, right?
Lilly Adams, and I've only been in the city for about a few weeks.
And you, Mr. Juan?
Well, my name is Juan Poncho Man, right? And I've been around the city for a long time, man. I don't really know how long. I would say a little bit less years on off, business trips outside of the city, and then, coming back here.
All right, so you stay busy, but you've been around for a while.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your occupation or what you do to survive, to make money around here?
I'm very respectful, I want to let the lady talk first, but I mean...
You can go.
Well, I do a little bit of everything, I'm a businessman, right? No, I'm kind of everywhere, right? I used to run a cab company back in the days, right? Made a lot of money from that. In my free time, I do a lot of, stocks, I spend a lot of time there, right? With my, good friends of mine, like Mr. Red Cruz, right? Yeah. I just do a little bit of everything, man, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so some investing and you've owned a prior business as well.
Yeah. Nowadays, I just kind of invest and relax,
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Lily?
I just do mainly mining and apple picking and that.
Oh, okay, interesting. I think there's some voices inside your head that are making its way onto the camera somehow. So, have either of you two ever been a victim of a crime?
Victim of a crime, like, what do you mean by that? Like,
So
taking hostage,
so for myself, when I started as a garbage man, I actually was kidnapped while emptying the trash. A lot of honest people around here, they just try to make their money and, try to stay out of crime, but, sometimes they get kidnapped. Sometimes you get robbed or whatnot. Just wondering if you guys have had any of those experiences.
Yes, I have. I've been taken before for, it was a horrible, horrible day, to be honest. I was for a bank job, apparently. They said BJ in the car when they were taking me, and I was a little bit confused. But once we got to the bank, it all made sense. Still a horrible experience, I didn't know what to do. It was horrible. It was like 1 hour of my life, flashing lights, cops outside screaming, guns pointed at me, I didn't know what to do, man. But, I grew a lot from that experience, and I think it made me into the man that I am today. It only happened once to me, so...
I've actually never had that happen to me.
Oh, well, that's good. You've only been a few weeks in the city. It actually happened to me, I think, my second day here. I was going to ask you, Juan, you said you were in the car and they mentioned BJ. Was that bank job, I assume?
Yeah, bank job. So, like I said, I'm an investor, right? And I was called down to the electric place, where they will, what is it called? Electric job, I guess.
Yeah, the power and water.
Anyway, power and water, exactly. I was there, and talking to the guy potentially gonna invest in their company, right? And then some guys pulled up on a car. They fucking they took me in, blindfolded me and everything, and they just kept saying like, yeah, we need you for a BJ. We need a BJ from you. And it was horrible, man. Like, you can imagine. I thought that meant something else.
Yeah, that's why I was going with that. So it turned out to be a better situation than what you thought it was.
Yeah, bank job. Like, I'm not gonna lie, even when we got into the building, right, it was terrifying because, like, I was still blindfolded, like I said, right, and they took me into the building, and then they told me, get down on your knees, and I'm like, that's when I still thought it was still that other thing, right? But then when the cops came there and stuff, like, that's when I realized that, okay, I'm kind of okay right now.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, what do you generally think about the police in the city then?
At the end of the day, most of them are just following orders, right? You can't really blame them for being too aggressive sometimes, or however they react, right? Because there's a lot of assholes out there. So I'm understanding, right? But I still have some issues with the cops, like sometimes they just overreact a lot. So, but in general, I'm okay with the cops.
What
Yeah.
about you, Miss Lily?
Same.
Yeah, definitely. What I gather from talking to people, it seems to be a love-hate relationship. My personal experience, I've been pulled over by a couple of different departments. I'm not sure if you guys know Junior Franco.
Junior Franco, yeah. I've had the.
Yeah, I've only had great experiences with him. He actually pulled me over one time, and instead of giving me a ticket, he gave me food instead. So I'll go ahead and get into a deep question here. Do you believe in aliens?
No?
You're not confident on that answer. I guess you've just never thought about it or never came across any aliens.
No, never came across any.
What about you, Mr. Juan? You've been here for a while. I mean, do I believe in aliens? I've seen some shit in the city, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? I've seen some, small yellow people. I've seen some flying, things. At the end of the day, I guess it comes down to what you would define as an alien. Because for other things, creatures or whatever you want to say, right? We might look alien to them, right?
Right.
So I guess it depends what an alien really is,
I would say like a living being not from planet Earth, the best way to describe it. But I see where you're coming from.
I'm sure there's something out there, but
Yeah, there's got to
don't
be.
necessarily put too much,
So you said you've seen some crazy things around the city. What is one of the more crazy things you've seen?
The other day, man, and I saw a little baby that was saying he was the boss of a criminal organization, Lang something, and he was literally like 5 years old, so it was kind of weird. A lot of things, they don't really make sense, right? But you just go with it. It's 2022 after all, It's a lot of different people, doing different things.
Another question for both of you. Juan, you've been around for a while. What do you think of the economy for the city? How the jobs are and how people survive?
Personally, I can manage, right? But I think for the people that are, coming into the city, it's going to be way harder. I feel like could be, could be earning more from jobs. A lot of things take a very long time, and for people to really get settled in, like, I fear a lot of people get disheartened before they get to the stage where they would really enjoy the city, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, from a new person's perspective, Lily?
It is quite hard to try and earn money.
Yeah, typically I see people struggle, trying to stay above the law and find the right jobs to, stay out of trouble.
Yeah, that's a big thing, yeah, for sure.
So last question before I let you guys plug your stuff here. If you were given $200K, what would you spend it on?
Lily, you wanna take this one first?
House.
A house. That's a good answer. So you want your own property, like a place to call your own?
Yeah.
That's a very easy answer because I'm pretty sure you can find a house for about $200K. So, what about you, Juan? I'm sure you're well off, but if you just got $200K on your lap right now, what would you do with it?
I would probably invest a little bit of it, like 20% of it, right? The rest I would probably use on cocaine and strippers. I'm very, I do like to party, right?
Yeah.
So I would just try to have some fun. Cocaine is pretty fun, right? So yeah, I think something like that.
Well, I can't say that's a wrong answer at all. Cocaine and strippers sounds like a good time to me.
Actually, I would probably donate a little bit as well. Let's say 30% of that amount. I would still be left off with a lot to, party and
Yeah, a little.
Be selfish and all that.
Try to keep a little bit of it, in a smart way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, if you could say anything to everybody watching, what would you say?
Don't do drugs. It's bad. Horrible. A lot of my friends, they, some of them lost their fingers, some of them lost their legs. Like, it's a bad thing.
Fingers and legs. What kind of drugs are we?
Staying in school, crocodile drug. I stay away from that. I only do the good stuff, like cocaine.
Yeah.
Only a tiny bit, man. Don't get me wrong. It's like a little.
Yeah, just in moderation.
Yeah.
What about you, Lily? What would you say to the people watching?
Just stay positive.
Very, very nice messages. And would you guys like to plug any businesses or any brands that you guys own before we get out of here?
No, not really, man. I'm a very private person,
Same.
Just, buy yourself a cigar or two, Relax a little bit, Don't take life too serious. It's always time for that, Try to have some fun.
You ain't gotta go through it all alone. You ain't gotta go through it all alone. All alone. You ain't gotta go through it all alone. All alone. You ain't gotta go through it all alone. All alone. You ain't gotta go through it.
Thank you guys so much for listening. There you have it, episode 1 of the Strangers Podcast. It was a pleasure to sit with Juan the Poncho Man and Lily to talk about their experience so far in this wild, crazy, but amazing city. If you or someone you know is interested in being the next guest on The Strangers, reach out to me at 94336. Until next time, Los Santos.